Hi, welcome back to Make It with Mod Podge. My name's Cathie, and today I have a really fun throwback craft to share with you. This is something that I made with my mom when I was a kid, and I've thought about how to do this a little bit more elevated. We're going to be making dough out of white bread and Mod Podge, and I'm using it in these molds. Now you could do this as a kid's project and roll it into balls and create little animals and things like that, but I really love the idea of molding it. And this is what it looks like when it comes out of the mold and it's not trimmed up yet. I'm going to show you the step-by-step tutorial on how you do this. And I'm going to show you a gold painting technique so you can use this in all your different projects. This looks so cool as frames. You can see I did some as an ornament, and I love just doing like a single one like this. Now, a lot of people ask this question, and it's a fair question. Will these mold? Do they rot? Are ants going to come? And the answer is no, no, and no. I have some of these that I made last year, and they're still holding strong. Once it's dried, it's fully cured. The Mod Podge seals it all in, and I've never had any problems with it whatsoever. All right, let's get on with this tutorial. I think this is going to be a fun project that you can do as a family, or you can do elevated like this. All right, let's get started. First, I'm cutting the crust off of my bread, and then I'm tearing it into little tiny pieces. Now I'm gonna add the Mod Podge gloss. This was an entire loaf of bread, and this is about a 1/4 cup of Mod Podge. You just want a sticky dough. If you need to add a little bit more Mod Podge, you can. Then you're going to use oven-proof silicone molds, and we're going to just push the bread clay into the molds. And don't worry about the edges being sloppy. There really isn't a super clean way to do this. So just make sure you're really pushing it in to get all of those different details and grooves. And once you have your molds filled, we're gonna grab some water. Just get a little bit of water on your hands and tap off on a paper towel, and then really smooth and press all of those pieces into the mold. You can clean up the edges a little bit, but you really want to be pressing the bread clay into the mold. Now I'm going to line a sheet with some parchment paper, and we're going to put these in the oven at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for about 12 minutes. Now I'm going to unmold them. Look how cool they are already looking, and we'll just clean them up by using some scissors and just by pulling those edges clean. So you'll just cut around the edges or tear off those little bits. Look how cool the little crown looks. So we'll just clean up our edges, and then they're gonna go in the oven one more time, and this time it'll make them really flat and hard. So we're gonna go 200 degrees for about 10 minutes. And you can see how solid they are. Now we're gonna glue them to one of those dollar frames. Just make sure your frame is going in the proper direction. And I'm just using hot glue to attach. You could use any kind of glue, but hot glue dries so quickly. And I'm gluing that to the top of a dollar frame, and I'm just laying out my pattern the way I want it. Now I'm going to use 2 different gold colored paints. First, I'm base coating with Turner's Yellow Folk Art paint, and then I'm going on top of it with Golden Sunset Apple Barrel. I like to layer up my yellows and my golds to create a really rich color, and I'm painting my little extra pieces there too. Now I'm going to go over it with some Treasure Gold in Gold Ore, and this I'm just going to go all over the frame, and I'm highlighting all of my different embellishments. And I'm using a bristle brush here, and you can see that I'm not being real perfect. I'm just really getting it into those creases because we want all of the different layers of the gold. Now, once this gold is dry, I'm gonna go in with some Folk Art Dark Brown, and I'm gonna add some antiquing and aging highlights. So I'm just using my finger, I've got a little paint on my finger, and I'm rubbing that all over the entire design. Now the gold layers below is completely dry. So now I'm just rubbing that brown in there. And then once that is completely dry, I'm going over everything with Treasure Gold in Mayan Gold. So I'm painting over the entire frame, the edges, the sides, all of the different pieces with the gold.
Now for this design, I'm gonna glue a few pearls down just to enhance it, and I'm using Mod Podge Multi for that, but you could use the same gloss formula. The Multi is just a little thinner, so I prefer it for gems. Look how cute that turns out. Same thing, I've got my little embellishment. I'm just gonna hot glue it onto that frame. I love how these look. And for my little ornament, I just glued some different pieces down, and I'm adding some pearls there too. This bread dough clay is such a fun way to make embellishments, whether it be for ornaments or frames, if you're making handmade gifts or setting about for a bazaar for the holidays. This is such a fun technique.
Well, there you go. I don't think you'll ever look at a loaf of white bread the same way again. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I'll be back here next week with another fun video to share with you. And until then, have a super crafty week. Bye.